be acknowledged and that she be thanked for her service to the Goal Youth Advisory Committee.
So just in terms of them leaving for the vote, just so that they're not voting themselves back in, do we have a quorum for that?
We need Grace's. Form 8 for us or 7? 7. We have. Yes, we have quorum. Okay. Quick maths. Okay. So I guess while we do the vote, we'll ask Amelia and Gyac to step out of the room. How do we want to do this? Paper, hands, everyone close your eyes. Paper? Yes. Yeah, it's just all those in favor. Okay, so we'll start with Amelia, all those in favor? Carried unanimously. And Gyac, all those in favor? Carried unanimously. Okay. Oh, and Renee, she's not, and those for Renee? All those in favor? And we'll acknowledge that Grace for her resignation and thank her for the service of the Goal Youth Advisory Committee. And Isaac will move, and a seconder. A seconder for Grace's resignation, Cody. Okay, cool, we can let them back in. Yes, welcome back to the table and to the Youth Advisory Committee. We'll move on to 7.2, the Youth Development Officers Update. Debbie, would you like to speak to the update?
Yes, thank you, through the chair. Thank you. We have officially going to have our first Gyac team building pizza game night coming up on the 27th of June. So we'll put those details up on our Facebook page where you can come in if you're free, and you can come in and we'll do some games and have some pizza and hang out and get to know each other in a different way. So that will be really great. So thank you for those that have voted and chose that as our first event. So we'll get that in motion. With the Youth Sponsorship Awards, we do have an award ceremony, the one that got cancelled last time due to COVID restrictions. So that will be now held on the 4th of July. So if anyone does want to attend, that's a Monday and it's before this meeting. You are welcome to come in, and Mayor Karen Redmond will be presenting those awards. The Youth Space Training, obviously Abby's already introduced herself, so that's great. And just wanted to note a big thank you to all of the Youth Advisory Committee volunteers. Recently, during the programs and things like that, without the input from our volunteers, a lot of the programs wouldn't have the big success that they have had. So thank you, even if it's 5 minutes here, you know, an hour there, 10 minutes, it's really great to see the input from everybody. So thank you very much.
Awesome. Okay. Would anyone like to move the verbal update? Would anyone like to move? Abby, and a seconder? Amelia? All those in favour? Carry unanimously. Thank you. Moving on to item 8, items listed for discussion. 8.1 is the chair's verbal update. I have been busy last month. I had lots of meetings. On the 9th, I had a meeting with the mayor, which was the week after our Gyac meeting. And at this meeting was also Senator Smith and Matt Burnell, who you might know as a local Labour candidate. I spoke with them about youth representation within Gawler and what I guess the new party, which did eventually end up being Labour, what that might look like for Gawler. It was very interesting speaking with a senator, never spoken with a senator before. There was talks about the Gawler show and about tertiary studies and flood management and many other things within Gawler. And then on the 11th of last month, I spoke with, via Zoom, I spoke with Mayor Redmond, Claire Heathcote and Stuart Gilbert, both from the DIT. And this was in relation to the driver testing in Gawler, your P test, your VOT test. I guess a lot of this meeting was Mayor Redmond and I kind to talk to the DIT about why VOT testing is so valued within Gawler and what it means to the young people of Gawler that this testing gets brought back to Gawler. And I guess the real persuasions against having the VOT in Gawler was that of 754 tests that were taken in Gawler, I think in 2018, 264 of those were from Gawler and surrounding residents, but the majority of people were traveling to Gawler to do the VOT test, which led for the DIT to believe that testing is maybe easier in Gawler, or there's something attracting people to do their VOT in Gawler versus in their towns. And that Gawler had a 77% pass rate where the state average was 60%. However, these didn't really stop Mayor Redmond and I from kind of stating our case as to why we would like VOT testing back in Gawler. And the conclusion, I guess, was that the DIT was open-minded to bringing the VOT back to Gawler. It depended on future government policies, but there could be no confirmation as to whether or not this would happen. Yes, that is all I have for my verbal update. Do we have any questions, any discussions?
Just a point of discussion, and I mean, I've said it before in this forum that I do think while those are obviously quite valid points that the DIT has put to the council and the committee, that if those are the claims that are being made, they should be substantiated and investigated rather than speculated on in a letter.
Yep. Awesome. Thank you. Anyone else? No? All good. Then we will move on to 8.2, the Climate Emergency Action Plan Working Group update. I only have a little update. We have an approved version of the action plan, which I believe has gone to council as of now. Maybe, maybe not. I'm not. We'll see. And the survey questionnaire, there's been discussion to shorten the questions, and the survey could potentially be trialed with Gyac members. So we may or may not get to have a look at what the speaker's been up to with their survey. Do Gyac or Cody have any other updates? I don't have many. No, nothing major to be discussed. Okay. Any questions, any discussions from the other members? Nope, all good. We'll move on to 8.3, the Youth Advisory Panel update. Amelia, do you have something to say? Okay, we'll follow that up. Awesome. Then to 8.4, Gawler Youth's accessibility to transport. Please. Thank you.
I'll talk to that. Obviously, in regards to VOT testing, is as Jay just discussed, we've got some way to go on that, and obviously there's a couple of other things which we've mentioned about awareness around the transport that is available with buses, the on-demand service, that kind of thing. But in case anyone missed it today, the trains are back on Sunday, so that is good news. And there is, I believe, a motion which we moved later tonight, just about some video content which goes along with that, supporting safety, especially with the new electric trains, and just going about using the new electric train service. But it's obviously great to see the trains back. If you're on a student concession like me, $1.95 to ride the train sure beats $2.20 a litre for petrol. So good to see.
Awesome. Any questions, any discussions for Isaac? No, okay, we'll move on then to item 8.5, Bike Month. Jack?
I don't have much of an update, just if nothing sort of has happened in the past month, but just keep throwing it out there that next month will probably be a bit more of a update with some more substantial developments.
Okay, awesome. Any questions, any discussion? No, all good. We'll move on to item 9 then. Items listed for discussion at future meetings. I have Kirsty for the digital storytelling, which I guess will be discussed at future meetings. The July meeting. Okay. And moving on to 10, questions without notice. No questions. Item 11, any motions without notice or motions on notice? No. I can read. Okay. The motion is that the Gawler Youth Advisory Committee recommends to Council that a report be presented to the Gawler Youth Advisory Committee meeting on the 4th of July, which includes an outline on the Single-Use and Other Plastic Products Waste Avoidance Act 2020, including the purpose of the legislation, the banned and restricted items currently included in the definition of prohibited plastic products, that the information on the proposed timeline of the examination of the definition of prohibited plastic products include takeaway coffee cups, plastic shopping bags, and produce bags, opportunities for council to educate and inform the local committee about the phasing out of single-use plastic products and to promote environmentally responsible alternatives, and for the opportunities for the Gawler Youth Advisory Committee to raise awareness of the town of Gawler's Climate Emergency Action Plan 2022 to 2030. Do we have any questions or any discussion related to this motion? Yes, Jack, would you like to speak to the motion?
Just quickly, the purpose of this motion was to sort of start having that conversation regarding environmental sustainability in terms of procurement. So the whole sort of single-use plastics ban was something that the previous government legislated a few years ago, but had a phasing system. So things like coffee cups are still not technically prohibited under the Act. So what this is trying to do is just gain a bit more of a better understanding of the Act and where council sits in terms of what is the future looking like with this process of phasing out stuff, and how can we better support the community in taking that on board and making that sustainable decision, like, you know, keep cups and stuff, especially after coronavirus has thrown a spin on all of that. So yeah.
Okay, awesome. Do we have any questions for Jack? Any discussion? No? Okay. I'm guessing Jack, it's your motion you would like to move. Jack as mover, would anyone like to second the motion? Isaac? Awesome. All those in favour? Unanimously carried. Move on to 11.1, the notion of motor single-use plastics. Moving on to 12, motions without notice. Do we have any motions without notice? Jack?
Hi again. So the motion without notice, we did mention it to Debbie, I believe, about the video, and Isaac just mentioned it before, about the video that the state government has put out in regards to safety along the new electrified railway line and sort of re-engaging all of those safety aspects standing behind the white line. And so the motion that I'd like to move is that the Youth Advisory Committee requests that the Youth Development Officer shares the video on the social medias prior to the electrification launch on Sunday.
Awesome. Any discussions in relation to this motion? Yeah.
Through the chair, just in relation to that there, and obviously the procedural part of that, if that is moved tonight as recommendation, it won't go to council until the 28th of June. I'm happy to take that on board as a delegated matter, and we can share that video effective as of tomorrow, based on what it is and what the message that's doing. We're happy to do that.
Okay, so then that motion will no longer stand. Any other motions without notice? No, then we will move to the close of the meeting at 7:13 p.m. Thank you everyone for attending, and thanks again to Mr. Tucker for speaking to us. I would also like to thank Councillor Brian Sandville for joining us today in the gallery tonight. Thank you. Bye everyone. Next ordinary meeting, 4th of July, 6:30.